Disease doesn't begin when symptoms appear. Long before pain, long before abnormal tests, something quieter happens. Your body stops responding to its own signals. Repair messages are sent, but ignored. Warnings are raised, but unanswered. In this video, you'll understand the silent breakdown phase that happens before disease, and why restoring communication matters more than fixing damage. Most people think disease begins when symptoms appear. Pain, fatigue, abnormal test results. But long before that, something far more subtle happens. Your body stops listening to itself. Cells stop responding to signals. Repair messages are sent, but no one answers. Warnings are raised, but they're ignored. And from the outside, everything still looks normal. This isn't disease yet. This is the silent breakdown phase, the point where the body loses coordination, not function. And once this happens, recovery becomes much harder, not because repair is impossible, but because communication is broken. We often describe the body as a machine, but machines break part by part. The body doesn't. The body works like a network. Every single cell is constantly receiving signals, responding to instructions, and adjusting its behavior based on feedback. Hormones, neurotransmitters, immune messengers, electrical impulses, they are not extras. They are the language of your biology. Health is not just the absence of damage. Health is a coordinated response. As long as your cells are listening, damage can be repaired. When we say the body stops listening, we're not speaking metaphorically. This is a real biological process that happens when cells become insensitive to signals, desensitized to repair cues, and disconnected from feedback loops. You already know some examples. You just might not connect them this way. Insulin resistance, leptin resistance, cortisol dysregulation, chronic inflammation. These are not diseases by themselves. They are communication failures. The signal is present. The message is correct. But the cell no longer responds appropriately. So why does this happen? Why does modern life accelerate this signal breakdown? Your cells evolved in an environment of rhythms, scarcity, recovery periods, and natural stress followed by rest. Modern life removes all four. Instead, we live with constant stimulation, constant glucose availability from food, artificial light disrupting our cycles, and chronic low-grade stress that never seems to end. The result: signals become noise. When everything is on all the time, nothing stands out anymore. To cope, cells adapt by turning down their sensitivity, a survival mechanism that later becomes a pathology. This leads to a hidden transition phase before disease, and it's the most dangerous phase because it feels fine. You can function normally, work normally, and even pass basic health checks. But inside, your repair cycles are shortening. Inflammation never fully resolves. Your mitochondria reduce their energy output, and your immune responses become blunt or misdirected. You are not sick yet. You are uncoordinated. And medicine is very poor at detecting this stage because it doesn't look for communication. It only looks for damage. This is why normal blood tests can miss this entire phase. Blood tests measure levels, quantities, and snapshots in time. They do not measure timing, sensitivity, or responsiveness. A hormone level can be perfectly normal while the cell's receptor response is severely impaired. Inflammation markers can be low while the inflammatory signaling never truly shuts off. This is why so many people are told everything looks fine right before things stop being fine. Aging itself is a communication problem first. It's not just wear and tear. It is slower signal transmission, delayed repair responses, and reduced cellular cooperation. Young tissue responds quickly and efficiently. Older tissue responds slowly or inconsistently. Not because it can't repair, but because it no longer coordinates that repair efficiently. This is why healing takes longer as we get older, why recovery feels incomplete, and why stress leaves a much longer imprint on our system. This brings us to a critical distinction: the moment when the body can still repair, but won't. Many people believe, my body can't heal anymore. But that is rarely true. More often, the body just doesn't receive the right conditions to re-engage its powerful repair programs. Repair is not on by default. It requires clear signals, silence after that signaling, available energy, and time. Without these essential ingredients, the repair process stays dormant, even if the capacity to heal still exists. So what are the early signs that your body is losing this coordination? These are not symptoms of disease. They are signs of signal failure. You recover slower from stress. Sleep doesn't feel restorative, even if you get enough hours. Your hunger cues feel distorted or confusing. Minor issues like a small cut or a cold seem to linger much longer than they used to. Your energy feels flat, not exhausted, but just consistently low. Most people ignore these signs because they're subtle. But this is the phase where intervention is most powerful. Unfortunately, modern health culture often tells us to do things that make it worse. Push harder, optimize more, add more supplements, override your fatigue. This just increases the signal noise. Your body doesn't need more instructions. It needs less interference. Repair does not respond to force. It responds to permission. This is why we must focus on rebuilding listening before we try to rebuild health. Before strength, before endurance, before performance, the body must relearn how to detect signals, respond appropriately, and complete its feedback loops. This is not done with clever hacks or more supplements. It is done by restoring the basics: rhythms, boundaries, recovery windows, and periods of metabolic quiet. This is the foundation of everything that follows. Disease does not begin with failure. It begins with miscommunication. And long before the body breaks down, it stops listening. The good news: listening can be restored. But only if we stop shouting at the system. In our next video, we'll explore exactly how chronic stimulation rewires your repair thresholds, and why doing less often triggers more healing than doing more. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching.